Wild night in the NBA last night. The Denver Nuggets barely hang on in overtime against the Brooklyn Nets. What is going on in Denver? We'll talk a bit about that. The Golden State Warriors show off the power of three-point shooting minus Steph Curry. And the Minnesota Timberwolves have Anthony Edwards go absolutely berserk and still lose. What is going on? We're going to dive into it. I'm Trevor Lane. Make sure you do subscribe right here to the Basketball Bulletin, our 100% independent NBA channel. All right, let's kick things off with the Denver Nuggets taking on the Brooklyn Nets. The former champs, the Denver Nuggets, you would think this game should be a cakewalk for them. Nope, went to overtime. How did that happen? Especially look at this. Look what the Nuggets did. This is why I'm still worried about Denver. Look what they did here. Aaron Gordon, 24 points, 8 of 11 shooting. Michael Porter Jr., 16 on 4 of 7 from 3. Jamal Murray, 24 points. You got 22 out of Russell, 22 points and 5 assists out of Russell Westbrook on 10 of 10 from the free throw line. Russell Westbrook went 10 of 10 from the free throw line and 2 of 2 from deep. I don't know if you're going to get another Russell Westbrook performance like that all season where he shoots that well. Credit to Russ. Only 1 turnover, too. That's an incredible game from him. And then, oh yeah, I shouldn't forget that guy, Nikola Jokic. What? 29 points, 18 rebounds, 16 assists. Good Lord. 9 of 16 shooting. Those are video game numbers. That's insane. On top of that, the Nuggets played an overtime game and only turned it over 5 times. So why the hell are they going to overtime? You couldn't ask for a better box score. You couldn't ask for better production than this. And yet they went to OT. You would think, oh, well, they must have been playing somebody really good. No, it was the Brooklyn Nets. And the Nuggets just went to overtime to beat the Toronto Raptors. They have 2 wins on the season, and they went to overtime to get both of them. Now, at the end of the day, a win's a win, and you'll take it. And that's probably the important part here for Denver. But this does nothing to ease my concerns when you see that kind of production, and you still got to go to OT. That makes me a little worried about the Nuggets defense because check out what the Brooklyn Nets did. 28 and 14 for Dennis Schroeder. My God. Cam Johnson, 20 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. He's a Brooklyn Net for now. We'll see if he survives the trade deadline. 26 points for Cam Thomas. Nick Claxton came off the bench, was nearly perfect from the field. 12 boards, 16 points. You look at the Brooklyn Nets, this is a team that's tanking. The guys on the team are tanking, but organizationally, they're playing for another day. They're certainly trying to capture the flag. But look what's going on when we talk about Cooper Flag. But look what's going on. The Nets, not expected to be very good, and they kind of lit up Denver, didn't they? Here's how they closed the gap. Here's why this game went to overtime. 52 three-point attempts for the Brooklyn Nets. 52. That's insane. In your starting lineup, you had 10 attempts for Cam Johnson, 11 for Dennis Schroeder's not known as a three-point shooter or an assist guy, and he put up 11 threes and 14 assists in this game. Unbelievable. 52 attempts from 3, 20 makes. Denver Nuggets, not one of the higher three-point attempt teams in the NBA. In fact, they were near the bottom last season. 27 attempts, 13 makes. That's the power of the 3, and we're going to see that play out even more in the Golden State Warriors game. But if you're the Nets, this could not have gone any better. If you're the Nets, think about it. The Nets, they're tradable guys. They're guys that are probably going to be on the trade block heading into that February 6th trade deadline. They all looked really damn good. They all put up great performances. Cam Johnson, yeah, you got to believe there's some teams drooling over Cam Johnson. 27 and 5, yeah, that phone's ringing. Dennis Schroeder, somebody's going to need a point guard. 28 and 14, yep, he's got value. Dorian Finney-Smith, all right, production across the board, 5 boards, 4 assists, right? A steal, a block, 1 of 7 from 3 is not great, but still not a bad performance. I think if you're Denver, the important thing is you got the win. I mean, my God, 19-14 in OT. but defense was certainly optional in this one. 19-14 in overtime. It's only 5 minutes, and the score was 19-14. Unbelievable. So if you're Denver, you walk away with the win. If you're Brooklyn, number one, you get the loss for your tank race. And number two, your guys looked really good. You probably increased their trade value. Check. Big win for the Brooklyn Nets in that regard. The Denver Nuggets, though, I'm worried. Again, you've got 2 wins on the season against Toronto and Brooklyn, and you had to go to OT to get both of them. They're not turning teams over enough. Brooklyn only turned the ball over 8 times. Their Denver Nuggets are in the bottom third of the NBA in opponents' turnovers, and they don't shoot enough threes. They don't have the three-point shooters, and they shot well from 3 in this game, 48%. You can't complain about that. Most nights they're not going to shoot that. But they don't shoot a high enough volume. I'm worried. I'm worried about Denver. This does nothing to ease my concerns. All right, let's jump over to the Mavs. Mavs 120, Wolves 114. At the beginning of this game, we thought, oh boy, here we go. Anthony Edwards, he's going to go off. He was going nuclear at the beginning of this game and finishes 37 points, 6 boards, 3 assists. Mike Conley, 2 of 4 from 3. Can't complain about that. Rudy Gobert, only 8 boards. That's low for him. Julius Randle, though. Look at this. Julius Randle, 20 points, 7 boards, 7 assists, 2 steals, 3 of 3 from 3, including one 3 that was a double step back as the shot clock was expiring. I believe it was PJ Washington defending. Not the type of shot you would expect Randle or anybody to make ever. And Randle drained it. Nice performance from Julius Randle in this one. So you got a nice game out of Julius Randle. Naz Reid got it going, and yet you still lost to the Dallas Mavericks. And here's why this is different, though. It's the Dallas Mavericks, right? The Wolves and the Mavs battled in the Western Conference Finals last year. It's a good team. And there was a run in the third quarter that the Mavs went on. The Wolves looked like they were doing well, and then suddenly the Mavs really turned it on. Luka hit a deep 3. That was the dagger. But at least if you're Minnesota, you could say, you know what? Maybe we wasted a 37-point Anthony Edwards game, but we lost to a good team. And you can go back to the drawing board and you can say, man, we shot well, but we turned the ball over 20 times. We got to be better about the turnovers. 5 turnovers for Naz Reid. That's way too many. 5 turnovers for Anthony Edwards. Yeah, with his usage. 6 of 12 from the free throw line. If you're the Wolves, you're annoyed that you lost this game, but you look back and you say, we had opportunities to win it. We had opportunities to win it. We didn't play our best basketball. We didn't win in the margins here. And so we know next time we clean up a few things, we can beat this team. It doesn't feel good to lose, but if you're the Wolves, you at least know that you lost to a good team, and there's clear areas for improvement where if you tweak a few things here and there, you walk away with the win next time. You look over the Mavs, though. Luka didn't shoot that well. 1 of 8 from 3, but 24 points, including the dagger. He did Luka things. 8 boards, 8 assists. Kyrie goes berserk. Part of that is, Mike Conley I think he's starting to show his age a bit. 35 points for Kyrie, 5 assists, 4 boards. The Wolves just didn't have anybody that was going to stick with him. Not while you're also defending Luka. Clay, very quiet night for him, 7 points for him. But when you've got Kyrie going for 35 and Luka going for 24, that's all you need. That's all you need in a game like this. You got okay production off your bench, but look at that. 9 turnovers. That's the game. 9 turnovers. Why? Look, 93 shot attempts for the Mavs, 77 for the Wolves. The Wolves shot well. They just didn't shoot enough. That's what happens when you turn the ball over. Every time you turn the ball over, if a team's scoring roughly 1 point per possession, maybe even a little bit more than that, every time you turn the ball over, that's minus a point off your score. And probably a little bit more, really. And that's not even factoring in that if it's a live ball turnover, your opponent is getting a very high probability scoring possession. Turnovers are extremely damaging. We just tend to not focus on them as much as we should because oftentimes it's live and the game moves so fast before it can really sink in like, oh, we just did something really bad. The game has moved on. But 20 turnovers, cut that down to 10, and that's an extra 10 points on the Wolves total. In addition to, you probably take away some of the Mavs' fast break points, and it's a win. Just fixing that for the Wolves. Hard to win an NBA game right now. The margins are becoming more and more important as teams are getting closer and closer together in terms of parity. So if there's a big discrepancy in three-point shooting, there's a big discrepancy in percentages. Obviously, there's a big discrepancy in turnovers, offensive boards, another key category to watch. Those things can ultimately decide the outcome of the game. And that's what happened here. The Wolves just turned the ball over too much. Turned the ball over, some missed free throws, lost to a good team. I think better days are ahead for Minnesota. Dallas took care of business. Did what you needed to do. Took care of the basketball. Picked up a win. They're 3-1. The Wolves fall to 2-2. All right, let's jump over to the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors in this one, no Steph Curry dealing with the ankle issue. And the Warriors just put a beating on the New Orleans Pelicans. Just put a beating on them. And here's the thing. You look at this. New Orleans, it's not like they played poorly. Brandon Ingram, 12 of 17. Good bounce back for him. 12 of 17 for Brandon Ingram. 4 boards, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, a little rough, but 3 of 6 from 3. There's 2 things I like about that. Number 1, the percentage, 50% from 3. Number 2, the volume. He took 6 threes. 12 of 17. That's a phenomenal, efficient night. BI goes for 30. Zion goes for 31. 12 of 19 shooting. Again, you hear that. You got 61 points out of Zion and Brandon Ingram combined. And the Warriors don't have Steph. You tell me those 2 things, I'm thinking, man, Pelicans picked up a win. They lost by 18. What happened? Again, NBA is all about the margins now. My goodness, 23 turnovers. They shot 54% from the field, 41% from 3, and lost. That's insane. 23 turnovers. They couldn't hang on to the basketball. 7 turnovers for Zion. And part of that's not all the Pelicans being sloppy. The Warriors, they've shown they're a good defense. They've been much better this year. They are a really difficult defense to deal with. You look at the steals. 5 steals for a dude named Slow-Mo Kyle Anderson. Now, he shot horribly. 0 for 9. Good Lord. But 5 steals for Slow-Mo Anderson. You look at what the Warriors did. 23 turnovers for the Pels, 7 for Golden State. Huh. That can be the game right there. And then 46 threes. 46 threes attempted. They made 21 of them, 46% from 3. The Pels, they shot well from 3. This is like Denver and Brooklyn all over again. The Pels shot well from 3. They just didn't shoot enough. 22 3-point attempts. It's not enough in today's NBA. You can't. The 3-point discrepancy, 9 made threes for the Pels, 21 for the Warriors. Buddy Hield went back to being a flamethrower, 7 of 11 from deep. Moses Moody, 5 of 6. Remember, no Steph Curry in this. 5 of 6, Moses Moody. Brandon Podziemski hit 3. 3 from Lindy Waters, the third. Lindy Waters, welcome. Lindy Waters. Now, Steve Kerr joked that he might have to go to like a 13-man rotation after the game because Lindy Waters was so good. Sometimes this happens. You lose a star, and the next game, everybody is so sharp, everybody is so focused that you have a killer outing. In the long run, where you really feel losing a star-level player to injury, and Steph, he's going to get reevaluated end of the week. Hopefully, he'll be okay. But where you really start to feel the impact of losing a star, it's usually in the long haul. Because for a game, 2 games, a short period, sometimes you see teams really pick it up. And then you get the people making the insane arguments like, oh, maybe they're better without that guy or whatever. No, it's because everybody is incredibly focused because they know, oh, man, Steph's not here. I have to pick it up. And everybody on the team has that mentality. Again, for a short burst, you can do that. And you can make up for the lack of a star in the aggregate. When you have Buddy Hield shooting 7 of 11 from deep, Moses Moody 5 of 6. Well, that makes up for Steph Curry not being there. But again, 7 turnovers for the Warriors. 23 for the Pelicans. So the Pelicans, you got 61 out of Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. No Trey Murphy. He's hurt. You've got issues going on here. Herb Jones, he left early due to a shoulder injury. Hopefully he's okay, but we'll see. We'll be waiting on the injury report on that one. You turn the ball over that much, you have that big of a 3-point discrepancy, you're not going to win the game. It turns what should be, again, 61 points out of Zion and Brandon Ingram. Should have been a good night for the Pelicans, but you turn it over that much and you have Golden State go nuts from 3, and it takes what should be a Pelicans win and it turns it into a Warriors blowout. Credit to the Warriors getting it done without Steph. All right, last game, and I don't have a ton to say about this one. The Kings did what the Kings should do against the Jazz, who did what you would expect the Jazz to do. Right now, the Utah Jazz 0-4 on the season, and I think they're okay with it. The tank is revving up to full speed here. Sabonis 28, 11, and 4. DeRozan 20 and 8 assists, 9 of 14 shooting. Keegan Murray chips in with 14, 19 for Fox, plus 5 boards, 6 assists, 14 for Kevin Huerter. The Kings just did what the Kings do. They only shot 25% from 3, but still. Blowout win, 113-96. The Jazz, not only is it already well, let's face it, it's a rebuilding season for the Utah Jazz. They are also trying to capture the flag, Cooper flag, but they also lost Lauri Markkanen at halftime, who was dealing with back spasms. So your best player is out, on top of the fact that you're playing a good Sacramento Kings team. You know, John Collins did his thing with 18 points and 7 boards. Kyle Filipowski came in and played a lot more when Lauri Markkanen went out. 8 boards and 12 points. That's solid from the rookie there. But still, these are two teams. This is what the Denver game should have looked like. This is what the Denver game should have looked like. You know, the Jazz jacked up 48 threes. It didn't matter because they didn't shoot a high enough percentage. And then Utah turned it over 17 times. The Kings did a much better job taking care of the ball. 11 turnovers for the Kings. Yeah, this is what the Denver game should have looked like. Sacramento runs away with it. No problems. Utah, hopefully, Lauri Markkanen is okay. But I'll tell you what, given what they're trying to accomplish right now this season, wouldn't shock me if they tell Lauri, you know what? You take your time. You rest up, Lauri. Rest that back, and we'll keep losing and racking up those ping pong balls. But wild night in the NBA. Again, I think we're starting to see very clearly how important certain stats are in the margins. When we start looking at the turnovers, the offensive rebounds, the 3-point attempts, the 3-point accuracy, all of these things certainly mattering and making a difference in winning and losing, and especially creating gaps between teams that you wouldn't expect when you just look at the traditional box score. You got to dig just a bit deeper and start to look deeper into some of those stats and see exactly what's going on. But everybody, again, appreciate you being here. Crazy night in the NBA last night. Give me your thoughts. Are you as worried about Denver as I am? I'm really worried about this team. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. The Wolves, crushing loss to the Mavs, but I think they will get better because of it. And then, of course, the Warriors. Oh boy. The Pelicans already without DeJounte Murray, now Herb Jones. Turn off the injuries already. Can we turn off that slider, please? Anyway, give me your thoughts in the comments down below. Till next time, everybody. See ya and stay safe.